So, hello and welcome to another episode of Season 2 of the Cyclist Amateur Tactics, where we follow a team of Achan cycling enthusiasts through the amateur races where they want to see how far they can get. In the second season, the team has now grown from 2 to 3, and yeah, let's see how they're doing this time. So last time, we left off at the start of the third stage of the Great Lakes Tour, and we had a pretty good position in the time trial. That was the second stage. So Maxim is currently in 6th overall, and Vladislav is among the also ran. So let's see whether we can keep Maxim up there. And he has recovered okay. We're missing a few attack points, so that's going to be interesting. So let's see what happens. So the stage is hilly, but not too hilly, and long, but not too long. So, yeah, all we want to is finish with the peloton and not losing too much time on the favorites. Start at the mountain stage, no slipstream, so we're going to stay exactly where we are. And we follow along with the peloton. Favorites or the leaders are jumping short, not sure why. So we invested some energy, so we can actually gain 1 energy point back by moving back. And that's what we're going to do again for the second jump, or for the second turn. And again, just staying with the peloton. Favorites are, well, the leaders are now back with the peloton. And let's hope not many SKPs will be going. The mountain Jose guy is off and going, as to be expected, because there is 1 mountain intermediate checkpoint to be had. Otherwise, not feeling particularly adventurous today. Apparently no one else is, because there isn't really anything happening here. I'm thinking when I want to come forward, probably before the mountain intermediate checkpoint, because there's 1 more climb afterwards, but I think the mountain checkpoint is the point in time where at least some favorites will come forward. So let's check where this is. So that's 80 to go, so we want to start moving around 140, 150-ish to go. So still a fair amount of time. And the peloton doesn't want to overexert itself, and that's nice. So we don't overexert ourselves either. This is all very calm and measured, and we benefit greatly from the added slipstream. Still just the lone SKP ahead, who probably no one really cares about. Let him get the mountain jersey and then everyone's happy. So we can't think of getting to the front, because the next is going to be a jump. That may or may not be probably pretty easy. Well, let's just move up, just to be on the safe side. Let's see what happens here. Okay, the SKP just overrun. And that's a nasty. That's pretty nasty. But this probably does something that they can easily get into the 14 here, or they really want to go into the 12, so we simply this would... This goes up to the 12th. There. I don't think we need to save that much energy. I'm happy to spend the extra attack point because we have not too plenty, but yeah, plenty enough with Maxim, so I'm not trying to second guess myself again. Playing it safe. Although the leaders tried something here, so here I'm simply staying where I am. The leaders all jumped short. Let's see whether this made sense or not. Because this is now reasonable. The other advantage that we have is we have an easy time moving forward, not that we want to attack, but the current leaders will be part at the back of the peloton once they rejoin. So no one's really coming forward, and I think that this is probably jumping to the foot here, so I'm staying where I am, to the foot of the climb. Don't expect that they will jump the climb, because that doesn't really make sense. Yeah. And this is very cheap. And now everyone's coming forward, and we follow along. So not that we can... Wow, that's a big jump. Can both follow? And I guess we have to. Yeah, don't care about the mountain jersey. So that's then probably the peloton finally waking up. So the leaders are still not with us, and I'm going to stay here. I'm not going to bother just jumping back and forth. We're doing reasonably well in terms of energy, and we have enough slipstream at the front, so things are fine. It will be interesting to see what will happen to the leaders. Yeah, this is easy. Just follow along, and we're getting now to the final climb, and we want to reposition probably, although there isn't that much in terms of slipstream to be had, although this was cheap now. I think I'm going to move somewhat to the back, investing 1 energy point now for potential of slipstream in the future. See where the others move. They're not jumping across, and it's obvious it wouldn't have worked, so we're simply staying with a bunch of 1 attack, but we leave that guy, Piotr, take the win if he wants. So the favorites are back, or the leaders are back. And this time I'm not moving, and Vladislav can stay in the middle, and Maxim is nicely tucked away, so that we can benefit from any slipstream that we might get. So I'm also mindful of tomorrow. So if I go here with my... I can't finish, and this would be my last turn of attack points, so I have a full turn of attack points left with Maxim. So we shouldn't get too ambitious. So I don't care where Vladislav finishes, and Maxim is nicely at the end. Just stay there with the peloton. So Piotr has won. And this is very nice. slipstream and energy conservation. And this is also reasonably short from the finish, so we should get a reasonable amount of energy back. Why is Maxim not visible here? Is this a bug? Probably is. Because I can move him to the front, not that I want to, so he is here, but he should appear among these riders, no? So, mass sprint. And they all move reasonably short. So, do they want to save energy? Probably. Vladislav wants to save energy too. Maxim can go here. I'm investing 2 and 2. And that's probably most of them, though the leaders haven't moved yet. This is a bit of a decision. So we would keep 6 attack points, so we would have a full attack point pool tomorrow, probably. Do I want to invest? Well, I'm investing 2, so 4 would be left, and 8. I'm going to try. Move ahead, so that we are 4th, and gain a little bit of time, extra time, on everyone who was among the peloton. So we're now 2nd. So 4th on the stage, 2nd overall. So I guess that the leaders still paid for not following the peloton along, that they couldn't really get into position on time, which enabled us to now be 2nd on time. So it was definitely worth it, at least for the time being, investing the extra points. And the recovery, yeah, no, we're going to suffer. The last stage is not too bad. The next one is shorter, but has a nastier climb. So let's see how that turns out. But we have a bit of space here towards the one after us in the overall standings. So let's see whether this was a worthwhile investment. And even with our 2 in a recovery, we are starting now to feel the effects. So I have to be still have to be mindful. But now the advantage is I don't have to exploit any opportunity anymore. I can simply follow along and will stay 2nd, or at least close to the top. So next stage. Let's see what happens here. So nothing will happen for a while, and we're probably getting enough slipstream so that moving back now is sensible. And again, we'll stay in the peloton, let the slipstream help us along. Let's hope they don't go bonkers. And further back. Let the others duke it out for the 2 sprints. This is a nice, comfortable pace. What I really need with Maxim is +1 in flat for those stages, so simply to conserve energy. I think now things sort of even themselves out, with Maxim being on 2 recovery due to a fitness peak versus Vladislav having 1 in flat, but 1 in, or only 1 in a recovery, and that they're now reasonably even on the attack points that they now have in the 4th stage. So that's something to keep in mind when making the decision for Maxim's next skill. One SKP, who is after the green jersey, and the peloton doesn't seem to care. Can you see who it is? Because he's not getting a lot of turn advantage. Frank Kuhn, full turn ahead. It'd be interesting to look up where he is in the overall standing, so that could be an interesting feature for future editions. So let me check when I have to get out in time for the final climb. The peloton doesn't seem to be worried about our sole SKP. So this is 60 to go, so about 120-ish to the finish. That's then a good time to get to the front. Still not the strongest pace. And I'm going to stay behind for the next small climb, because I suppose they will jump that one anyway. Now they're upping the pace a bit, and so now is the time to start moving forward. And this is very easy. That's good, so we don't overpay in energy when moving forward. And that's a big jump. So now they're waking up. So the 6-4 for the peloton, and the leaders are again jumping short. Let me have a look. So there is no really discernible feature here that's different. So it's 3 short of the 9 turn, and the leaders went here. So it's simply losing turn. There is no real obvious place where they would catch up. Or would they? Because they would have to jump to the bottom of this climb anyway. But if they jump just short, then they would have to pay 6-5 then. Well, I have to pay 6-4 now. And can left click, not right click. So try this again. So I'm paying 6-4 now. If I pay 6 here, 6-2. So but I will have more slipstream. So I don't think it's necessary to jump short, and I can invest some attack points. And I certainly don't want to be at the back of the peloton again. So they seem to make the same mistake twice. So here they're not overexerting themselves because they don't have to, because the next jump will be a short one. It doesn't make sense to jump into the climb. So I will not come forward now, but come forward the next time. And I hope this is correct, because I would have to pay 2 attack points to get forward, and I'm hesitant to do that. So yeah. Would have been strange not to go there, and that's not the toughest move. It's a free move essentially. And now just paying 2 energy points to move forward, and now the fun part begins. Yeah, attacks are going. Peloton 5-2. And where does this one belong? Probably here. It's difficult to see because they overlap. I think I'm staying with the Peloton because we're getting a tiny bit of slipstream towards the end, and I still have some attack points left, and I'll let the attacker go on his merry way. And there is no real advantage to be had to going short or further because it's all 3s. So I'm probably going jump into the 4. So the attacker is already past the climb, and the Peloton takes things nice and easy. So we have a few attackers, but we would have no chance in following them, so they can have the stage. So now it's downhill from here, and we are almost exhausted. So the favorites are back, but in the peloton, but also at the back of the peloton. So that's an interesting quirk they seem to exhibit. Yeah, just follow along and be there for the ride, and hope our energy with Maxim lasts. But should, because it's downhill, and you actually have a bonus in downhill. I don't want to spend anything to reposition, and Maxim is actually completely out of energy after next turn. So I don't have any energy to reposition. So 3 winners, Piotr again. But the peloton doesn't overexert itself either. The leaders go 1 turn ahead, but I honestly don't care. So they will win, but I have some cushion, and this was difficult enough because I will be completely empty with, not completely empty thanks to slipstream, but almost empty with Maxim. I'm not going to sprint with. So they won anyway. One other guy 5-7, and I'm getting just 3 back, or finish with the peloton and get 1 energy back, and that's what I'm doing with Maxim, so that I still have something to do on the last stage, and I'm not even going to invest. I have some energy. I can invest attack points, but not 6 of them. So I'm not sure this makes any difference. Probably not. I can leave it at that. So didn't lose too much time. So we are 17th and 19th, but not much difference compared to 4th place. So overall we in 6th. So of course the 3 SKPs who won this stage very convincingly with 0.87 of a turn. And now the 3, well, they are not exactly the 3 leaders. So Max Bush had 1 earlier, but 2 of them. So they are well ahead. And if we can have 6th, then I'm happy with what we could do, and especially where we are energy-wise. So look at this. This doesn't look too enticing, and it's not the shortest stage, so it will be more about saving energy, and at least it's not much about climbs, especially early on. So yeah, more conservation is on the menu, but at least we are back to full attack points. And it's interesting how little difference 1 versus 2 a recovery makes, Because with almost no energy, I'm back up to 40 with both, and that's not too much. So it's all flat, so we have no energy left, so let's move back and let the peloton carry us. And even if if there are SKPs going at the climbs, we are in no condition to do anything outside the peloton. And I suspect we might actually run into serious trouble with our limited energy pool throughout the stage already, unless they keep this very leisurely pace, which I wouldn't mind at all, but I don't count on it. Every zero energy move now is a brilliant move. And this doesn't look like another zero energy move, but 3 is not too bad. Could be worse. Another 3, but that's the climb, so that's okay. This might, yeah, this gives actually energy back, and this is very welcome. I think I'm not even going forward towards the end. Where the peloton goes is where we will go. Should have even stayed back at least with Vladislav probably in the previous stage, so that we at least have one rider with some energy, but might have lost even more time then, so this doesn't look good, but again, we're now past all climbs, and now it's just flat riding, benefiting from very nice slipstream. SKP only 1, so that's nice. Nicholas Klein doesn't ring a bell, so maybe even someone who isn't that big of a threat. Maybe someone who wants to hunt for the green jersey. Yeah, so +1 in flat would be nice to have for Maxim, because I think currently the added recovery balance this out, because he's at exactly the same energy levels as Vladislav, who has +1 in flat. Three. Two. Should work. Maybe. Or not. This looks not too easy. Slipstream works wonders. And yeah, we definitely will move forward. That's going to be suicide. So the end comes in sight, but I'm not going to leave the peloton. I don't want to run just on attack points, even on the last stage, because That leaves no margin for error, and I actually have to use some of those attack points now. Everyone's coming forward, but let them do their thing. Well, actually, a few, yeah, it's not really a climb, but it's not entirely flat either. And wow, this is insane. 5, 4, 4, 4. So we might just live off our attack points till we reach the finish. If you are already dropping back, there's another big one that we can follow. And are pretty much out of energy, but can we finish already? Yeah. Beautiful. So no energy left for Maxim, so just attack points. And just 2 left for Vladislav. So let's see how far this gets us across the line. So Maxim can follow the peloton, and Vladislav can as well, but we would have no chance to maneuver in any way. So that shouldn't be too bad in terms of overall results. And I guess there are a few more out of energy after 5 stages. Okay, so yes, safely tucked away, but didn't lose anything on anyone. So Maxim 6th. That's, I think, the best we could do. And yeah, happened to get a few points in either jersey, but that doesn't really affect anything. But 6th overall should give some nice prestige to start the season. 32, okay, plus 1 podium, which we got with Maxim in the time trial. So 39 overall. And I think that's a decent start to the season, because this tour is certainly not among the easier ones for our skill level, so I happily take that. So next up is Maxim's favorite race, Era of Timur. So that's certainly going to be interesting. We also have a level up for Maxim. But I think what we're going to do here is something for the next episode.